when I go in on CTRs, I expect breaks and lunch to not happen when they're meant to happen. On a bad day, this could mean for me that you're really stretching my mind if I don't get that regular break to disconnect, to eat, to hydrate, to maybe to process some of the information that's told to me. And a lot of us are going in there and there's a lot of trauma that from our own pasts, and we're often reading some very intense information. Especially, you go there, the information, you get documents put in front of you, and it can be quite graphic in its content. And even if it's not graphic, it's talking about someone who's, in crisis. We're people that are reading this. That has an emotional impact reading that. We need those breaks to process, to disconnect, to give the correct level of support we can to the person. And if we don't get those breaks, we end up being a bit burnt out or a bit emotionally numb, or maybe at the worst, not really able to contribute. Now, that's just the standard for all of us. We need regular breaks to focus the best, to pay attention, to fully take in the information that's in front of us and the situation that's in front of us. But where it becomes a reasonable adjustment is that if you are autistic or have a learning disability, you have different needs. You have different sensory needs. So you may need that break to go for a walk, or to go to the toilet to escape, or to go to a different environment to escape, or to do some sort of self-stimulatory activity to sensory regulate, to put some music on, to put your glasses on to darken the world, to go sit in your car, to go and eat something which has got a lot of senses around it. And if you don't have that break and it's just meetings and meetings back to back and then paperwork piled on top, as the day goes on, you may not be able to process as well. You may not be able to contribute as much. Or you may be able to manage and mask throughout the entire day, but when you get home, you're really quite spent and you're quite ill as a result. That's the thing you may not realize. You may not realize that by missing those breaks, you're actually kind of destroying the person's mind later on, that they may hide it because, well, we may hide it because we care about the person here. We want to push through because we understand that the breaks are being skipped, not because, purposefully, but because the day that just happens, unfortunately. And we want to be there to support the person, to promote their care, to be involved in discussions. But it ultimately can mean that we are masking, we're pushing ourselves beyond our limit, and later on we may break a little bit or a lot. That's the hidden kind of parts. That there's many other reasons someone needs a break. It could be someone needs that break to take that insulin in private, or to have the sugar to regulate their blood sugar levels. Or many of us may have joint or muscle disorders, or things like arthritis or EDS, which may mean we need to move around, have those natural movement breaks. You wouldn't want to do that necessarily in a classroom because it means you standing up while everyone's in a meeting, or stretching in front of strangers. That's quite strange. So you may be waiting for that natural break. You may not put this down as a reasonable adjustment, actually. You may not put it down as a reasonable adjustment because I think it's normal to expect regular breaks, because humans don't function on no breaks at all in an 8-hour day. And I've done many CTRs where we haven't had a break in that entire day. No break at all, where you haven't eaten, or you're eating while trying to read paperwork. But I feel like this is not something that should be hard to convey, really. I think some people get in the mindset of thinking, well, the day is dynamic. You can't really exactly control when a break happens on a CTR because things do change around. That's the nature of a hospital. If you can't stand not having a break or the break being changed, you shouldn't be doing this job. But I think it's natural for people to not always tell you that they have a reasonable adjustment around needing a break, because breaks are needed as humans. And so they may be hanging on there with their entire body in physical pain because they haven't had that break, or their blood sugar levels dropping, or any number of things that I can't personally relate to and you can't personally relate to. That's why, rather than trying to understand someone's position, we have to just do some certain things as standard. And standard is to, maybe the day is dynamic, maybe you can't have that break, but it's to make for certain that everybody in that room that's part of your team on the day is okay with skipping that break, is okay with moving the time of that break. And you be very mindful that that break hasn't happened.